it's not even charged or hooked up to a charger. I don't know if it's even going to set up. This is crazy. Ain't that crazy? 72 gigs of data on this phone. 60, what was it, 62, 64 gigs of data on that phone, and neither one of the phones will work. And they're Boost Mobile. And like, if you've been here for a while, you know I've had this struggle since the start of my channel. The Verizon Wireless is a prepaid phone that you can get for like $99, plus the card is like $65 or $70. And that's the initial... My phone's doing something weird. That's the initial startup cost. And then you just refill a card and start over every month. You put $65 on the card and you pay your Verizon bill. I have, you know, that Verizon phone works everywhere we go. That's my main phone that I film on. And it's $65 a month. And even when I run out of data, I can still live stream without interruptions. I've got 2 contract phones and neither one of them work for live streaming. They never work. I'll be surprised if this works. I mean, I am so frustrated. It's costing me money. Yesterday, I could have filmed for 4 to 6 hours more than I did, but my phones, I didn't have a phone to do so. It's been like that every day. Every day. It's just nonstop. It's frustrating. It really is. You know, I've got to have a new bank account in order to set up a new phone. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Verizon and make negotiations. I'm a content creator that gets millions of views every single month, and I need help. So, I got money to spend. What you got from me in exchange? I'm sick of giving my money to people that have no respect for my time or money. We out here getting robbed every time we turn around. We step out the house and got to spend $100 just to go down the road. Got to get gas, got to get water, get you something to eat. Boom, $100. You walk into Walmart and drop $100 with buying 2 items nowadays by accident. Get a supplement and a phone card. Boom, 120 bucks. I am sick of giving my money to people that don't respect me or my dollar or how hard I work for my dollar or the fact that I am homeless, still spending money that I don't have. So I'm going to walk into Verizon and make demands. Sure am. I'm in content creation. And I need phones that work. This is costing me money. What do I need to do? I need phones that work. Their prepaid phone, 10 out of 10 experience. This prepaid phone is a Galaxy. Got it from Walmart, $160 the initial setup. You refill a card every month. I get better service on this phone that is prepaid through Verizon than I've ever got with Boost Mobile, and I've been with them for like 15 years. I have 2 phones with Boost, and neither one of them work. Neither one of them work. Just check the data on this. I have 72 gigs of data on this phone. It is 5G, a brand new Apple. And I cannot even send out a text message in the middle of a city. I'm so done. I've been saying that for a year because I'm scared to switch. But you know, I'm starting to come to my senses with this business, and I'm starting to understand content creation on a different level. I came into this wanting to help others and not thinking about profit or how I could use this platform to help me and aid in my situation. I came here with the sole intention of talking about things that matter to bring awareness to them in hopes of helping other people in my situation feel better and guide them in the right direction to get themselves out of a bad situation, right? I never came to YouTube looking to make money. It was an accident. But now, after almost, a while of this, October, I think, will be 1 year that I've been monetized. That's another thing. I haven't even received a full year of paychecks, and people will still be like, have you, when are you getting a house? When are you getting this? When are you getting that? It's like, I haven't even received a year of paychecks. What are you talking about? People really are so naive. They think that if you're monetized, then you're making thousands of dollars a month. It's kind of sad that YouTube plays into that. It's smoke and mirrors. It takes years to get to a position where you can live off of YouTube money, okay? Most creators, it takes 5 to 10 years to make a decent income of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. So the fact that I even monetized in the amount of time that I did, and I had this small success, and I'm so grateful for all of it, it does not mean that I was making money, you know? It's just crazy, the misconceptions that come with this. I'll tell you one thing, I could be making more money if I had phones that work. I mean, it's been a struggle. But I guess what I was about to say is that I'm coming into my position as a content creator more, and I'm learning how to ask for things. Apparently, that's part of this job. Apparently, I'm supposed to go to companies that I identify with or appreciate, or I use their products. I'm supposed to go to them, and I'm supposed to say, hey, can I have a brands deal? I love your products. I want to shout you guys out. Can y'all pay me and send me some of your products? That's my job in content creation, is to go and ask for handouts so that I can get brands deals. I'm starting to learn about these things more. Donations is another stream of income. I guess I'm starting to understand the business more. And in that, I want to use what I have to my advantage to bargain with people that I am going to have to be dealing with in order to support my business. It is imperative for me to have a cell phone and data so that I can work. You know, my survival literally depends on it at this point. So, you know, to give my money to Boost Mobile for the 15 years approximately that I have, you know, and they were wonderful up until COVID. I don't know what happened with COVID, but all systems are down, honey. Nothing works like it used to work. I mean, is it any surprise that, you know, we all switched to 5G and the service got worse? No, it's not. They don't know what they're doing. Now they're telling us that we're going to have power outages and blackouts across the United States. Like, the infrastructure is trash. They're like, oh God, we built all these crappy electrical grids and now shit's going haywire. And, you know, is it any surprise that 5G is worse off than 4G? No, it's not. It's right on par with the rest of the world crashing and burning. I just think that I need to go to Verizon and kind of bargain with them and see if I can use my position. I need to learn how to talk business, okay? I need to learn how to talk business, and I need to learn how to use my position and my business to help my business. Going to these people, explaining that I'm in content creation and explaining my problems with Boost Mobile and how it's costing me money. I might be able to get some kind of brands deal. I might be able to get some kind of special phone contract that's a business plan that's specifically designed towards people in my position. I don't know. But this is something that I plan to do this week. I also got to get a new bank account. I got a lot to do this week, a whole lot. And in between all of that, trying to survive and trying to survive the elements, I also have to work. So we'll see what happens. I just know that I guess it's hard for me to accept things that are not right when it's a pretty simple fix. Y'all notice that I have a problem accepting things? I really do. Like, when things are not going right and something's wrong, it's hard for me to understand why it went wrong. It's like, this should not be going on, and it's hard for me to grasp and accept. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like the cell phone's not working. It's inexcusable. This is 2025. There's no reason on God's green earth, after as much money as we spend on electronics, there's no reason that we shouldn't have service. We should be getting service in the damn Sahara Desert by now. Do you see what I mean? Stuff like that, I have a hard time letting go, because there's no explanation or excuse for the fact that we all switched to 5G and our phones got worse. I get hung up on shit like that because it's wrong. It's a scam. We all got scammed. We all got absolutely scammed, you know. And once again, make it make sense. How does this crappy prepaid Walmart phone outdo a contract phone? Maybe times are changing. Maybe Verizon is just the best. And I've had Verizon before. I like Verizon. But they are expensive. And that's why I've been, what's the word? Apprehensive? I've been standoffish to change my plan. The world is such a shady place. And that's another thing. We were talking about that yesterday. That's what I was hung up on yesterday. Why is it that these cell phone companies can sell us phones that do not work, that get no service, leave us stranded, leave us with GPS is not working? That's a scam. When you offer something, it'd be like a restaurant saying, oh, we got a filet mignon on special tonight. And then you get there and you order their special and they bring you out a piece of chicken. You've been duped. I just feel like if somebody with a lot of money, you could absolutely sue these people. Like, that is a scam. You offer a phone and it only works 10 days out of the month, approximately 7 to 10. And there's data on these and they're still not working. It's inexcusable. And I'm telling you, if somebody got pissed enough like I am, if I had the money, I would have done sued Boost Mobile. I want all my money back. Y'all done left me stranded, put me in a horrible situation more than once. I mean, one time I got stuck in Charleston and I didn't know what to do. My phones were not working. And I was on these bridges, going back over these bridges, and you know, all these bridges. I'm sorry you don't have a brain. So, y'all want me to turn it back on to fan funding, huh? Fan funding? Is that what we want, fan funding? Why are there so many children in the chat? Where are all the adults today? Like, I mean, every day. Like, sometimes I'll have some of my regular followers in here and they'll jump in. They have, you know, brain cells to rub together. But for the most part, in recent months, it's just a bunch of degenerate people. Is it the heat? They hate themselves that bad? Is it the heat? I don't know what happened. Something happened last year and the algorithm switched up to all of these perverts on my channel. And it's so exhausting. But I want the women and the men that are good men, I want you to pay attention to the way that these men are. I mean, it's really concerning for the future of women, you know, the lack of respect, the complete disregard, the sexual harassment, you know, it's crazy. It really is. I don't know why the algorithm, isn't it crazy that a sex trafficking victim gets all of these perverts over here? I don't know what happened last year, but something happened where the algorithm switched up and all of a sudden it's just all these perverts. It's crazy. I'm like literally fighting tooth and nail all day. I mean, I'm fighting motherfuckers out here. I'm fighting them on the internet. I'm fighting them over here. I mean, I just got the shit end of the stick for being a good person. This is not helping people. Watching this shit is not helping people want to come towards the light, honey. They're watching my life fucking implode for doing the right things. That's scary. That's absolutely scary. You're right about the updates taking up all the storage so that you then have to buy a new phone. It's a joke. Ha ha ha. You know what? I was in Boost Mobile about 6 months ago. The phone that I'm streaming on now, which is my phone that I've had since 2019. She says, oh, let me see your phone. And I'm always weary about them touching my phone because this is my livelihood and I don't trust them people. They sketchy as hell up in there. I had a bitch at T-Mobile with $10,000 worth of veneers in her mouth try to scam me when they had a special. There was literally a special. You could switch from your provider to T-Mobile and get a free phone, right? So I walk up in T-Mobile, ready to switch, and this lady tells me it's going to be $600. Y'all, I wanted to yoke her from behind the counter and knock every single one of them George Washington teeth out of her damn mouth for lying to me. But I didn't, because I'm a changed woman of God. I walked out of there. And I remember when that happened, we were in Jacksonville, and I told you guys about it. Oh, but months prior, we went to a different store in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the mall, and the same situation. It was they were running a promo. I don't remember what company, but I filmed it all. We went over there, and I was going to switch plans, and she was trying to say that it was going to be like $400 or $500 for me to start a phone plan when they actually had a promo for the month to switch for free. So I've actually almost been scammed twice in cell phone places since COVID. And the last time I went into Boost, she said, let me see your phone. I said, I'm not getting service. My phones are not working. They've heard the same thing for 10 years. They've heard it for 10 years. Once a month, I have to stop in there. My phones are not working. This is my livelihood. I just paid my bill. It says I have 70 gigs of data. So I'm in there one day, going through the spiel again for the 100th freaking time. And she says, let me see your phone. So I'm like, here. She goes and updates my phone. Do you know that everything changed? Like, not only did everything change, but I was locked out of some of my apps. That's why you need to get a new phone every 2 years, because of those updates. It's all a freaking scam. You know, these phones are made to last 10, 15 years. When we first had a flip phone back in the day before touchscreen phones, those flip phones would last us 5, 6 years as long as we didn't drop them in the toilet or lose it at a damn rave. Don't make no sense. It really infuriates me. It's just one of the many things in our country that is being used to scam us. And it's really one of the most detrimental things in our homes at the same time. Ain't it sad? Yeah, it don't make no sense. It makes me want to damn put a satellite on my head. Oh, God. Y'all, my knees and everything is bruised from where that accident. I'm trying to get in the sun. Trying to get in the sun. Trying to get in the sun. I work every day. Thank you for supporting my channel. Hello. Happy afternoon. Happy Sunday. Y'all, I did not want to get up this morning. I almost didn't come out the woods, if I'm being honest. I've been in a small depression, probably from food and, you know, eating that crappy food. That's what it does to you. That's what it was designed to do to you. Oh, thank you. I'm missing part of it right there. It's okay. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. I'm trying to get my legs tan because the back of them's like white, which is really sad. The front is like tan and then the back is white. Cottage cheese and watermelon. It's a particular taste. I mean, for me though, I guess when you get used to eating real food, it's what you crave. Butter and sugar is good, but like once you stop eating it, you don't want it again. You know? A dune buggy. I need a clip for my hair, y'all. It's hot. It's getting hot in the sun. That nicotine patch just fell on the floor. Jesus Christ. I told y'all they ain't worth a darn, didn't I? Did I say, hey, these things ain't worth a damn darn today? I feel like I did. Oh, I'm trying to move you up. I gotta sit down. I know one thing. I'm gonna sleep good tonight because I ain't felt good for days. 2-3 days. Maybe it's the accident. Maybe it was just the accident. Oh. Cheers. Don't drink. That's bad for you. Oh. Only drink when you're bleeding badly. You got a finger hanging off, an ear, broke a toe. Ruined your elbow. Yeah, this phone doesn't work at all. My old phone, that's 4G, it'll work better than this one. I mean, it pisses me off because I just bought this at the beginning of the year and it was like $400. So now I'm stuck with a damn iPhone that's locked to damn Boost Mobile. Will I be able to sell it? Pfft, I don't flipping know. That's the goal. So that I can pay for the Verizon phones. I've got to make a switch. Have to. I've been dragging my feet for 1.5 years on it. And what does it do? It costs me money. Not only that, but it prevents me from making content that I want to make because I'm scared that I'm going to invest time and energy into important topics and then my phone is going to get cut off. Just like right now, there's like 250 in the chat. When I lose service, all of those disappear, but like 30. And then the phone just like loops and it's spotty and you can't understand what I'm saying and it's moving slow and it messes everything up, you know? So that's been my biggest problem. Oh my God, you know what I was reading the other day? Y'all remember, hold on one second. Do y'all remember that girl that shot up that school a few months ago? It was a school shooting. It was last year in December. Her name was, it was the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. The shooter was identified as 15-year-old Natalie Rupno. She also went by the name Samantha. She was a student at the school and died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 2 people were killed in the shooting, a student and a teacher, and 6 others. So guess what? More than likely, it was mental health drugs that drove her to do this. She was on 5 different psychiatric, what's the word, psychotropic? She was on major, heavy drugs, heavy drugs, multiple antidepressants. Hold on one second. I don't know if it's this phone or that phone. It's that phone. Hold on one second. Let's see if there's an article. What is crawling on me? You can't even find anything on it. How does people freaking find stuff if you can't find nothing on it? You literally cannot find one article on it. And I know it's true. I know it's true because the person that it came from had a whole segment on it. So This is why, in my opinion, social media and commentators are so important. I see so many commentators that are doing the jobs of journalists now. Matt Walsh, hold on one second, has a segment where he breaks down all of the drugs that this girl Natalie was on before she committed this mass shooting at the Christian Abundant Life School. Not only was, let me see if I can figure out what meds it was heavy shit. We're talking a fixer, we're talking Ativan, which is a mild dose of Xanax. Who gives a child Ativan? That's Xanax. It's the same thing. You take enough of it and it'll be the last time you ever take it, just like Xanax. She was 15 on 5, 6 different mental health drugs. You know? Hold on one second. I want to see if it says in the title what she was on. So it was his last video. I would recommend y'all go watch it. Hey, Jeffrey. So glad to see you back. I hope you're doing well. Thank you again, Jeffrey Lawson. I needed somewhere to live. Hold on one second. My phone's not working. So it was a fixer, Lexapro, on a child. Listen, I don't know if any of y'all ever took this stuff, but I have, and it's an out-of-body experience, especially when they first put you on it and they don't know how to control the dosage and they don't know exactly how much you need. You're subject to taking too much or not enough, and there's this game that they play for weeks trying to get these medication dosages right, and the entire time they're telling you, oh, your body just needs to adjust. It's temporary for your hair to be falling out, for you to be nauseous, have no energy, be constipated, and be depressed. It's fine. It's temporary, you know. And these are antidepressants. They're SSRIs. They're supposed to prevent you from being depressed. And sometimes they make patients even worse. So let me see here. So it looks like so when they searched her house, they found 4 or 5 prescription bottles. They found out that they actually obtained a search warrant for the Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where Audrey Hale was a 22-year mental health patient. She had been being prescribed medicine and seeing psychiatrists and clinicals for 22 years. How? Hold on. Wait a second. I thought she was only 15. Oh my God, y'all. I fucking hate the media. Why are they calling her Rupa? Audrey Hale. So Audrey Hale shot up the Covenant School. Natalie Rupa shot up the Christian Academy, the Abundant Christian Academy. Hold on one second. So Audrey Hale, she's the one that was shot on church property, right? Or school property. Yes. She was gunned down by police leaving. So this is I'm sorry. These things are difficult because the media doesn't know how to, you know. Google don't know how to differentiate against these stories either. So it looks like she attended the Covenant School in the early 2000s from kindergarten through 4th grade. She was a former student there, but more than 16 years after leaving the school, she targeted the school. So this is the one. When they searched her property, they found all of these medicine bottles, all of these SSRIs and other heavy antipsychotics. And she also had been a 22-year patient of this mental hospital. She had medication prescribed to her that was associated with mania, hostility, and irritability. And they still gave her a gun. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So Brisprune, I've been on that before. So it looks like she was prescribed the anti-anxiety medication Brisprune. It's Buspirone. That's some heavy shit. She was also prescribed the antidepressant Lexapro. Are you supposed to mix Lexapro and a fixer together? A fixer? A lot of those things you're not supposed to mix together, and I see so many clinicals prescribing shit that should not be mixed. Nor do they tell their Ativan and Xanax patients that they shouldn't be drinking. The amount of medical malpractice in this country is unbelievable. It would blow your mind. It would blow your mind. It's all for money. So anyways, they do believe that part of the reason that she shot this school up was because of all of these drugs that she was on. Listen to this comment section. Tracy Higgins Cha-Cha said, I was prescribed a fixer and Lexapro after I discovered I was an alcoholic and was also addicted to pain medication. I was completely sober, but my psychiatrist told me I needed these medications to stay sober. So they gave her a Fexer and Lexapro to keep her sober. That is medical malpractice. This is what I'm talking about. Those meds are not for sobriety. Those are mental health antipsychotics that are very dangerous and very potent and overprescribed. I recently weaned off of, hold on. I was completely sober, but my psychiatrist told me that I needed the Effexor and Lexapro to stay sober, that these medications would help me stay sober. I was newly sober and thought she knew better. I recently weaned off of them. It's been 2 months and I still have side effects. I would advise anyone who is considering taking these to do more research. I'm blessed that I have a relationship with Jesus, and I wish so badly that I would have leaned into that and never allowed myself to think another drug would be the solution. Amen, Tracy, and I'm so sorry for your struggle, girl. Listen to this. Hit with truth 1 day ago. I was on 6 different psychiatric meds most of my life, plus 1 for the side effects, plus cocaine every day. Doctors knew I was using cocaine daily. 4 years clean now, 0 prescription medications. I'm healthy, happy, peaceful, work full time with addicts. Funny how I was that seriously mentally ill, then poof, not at all. Christ healed me at the drop. Damn, congratulations, brother. Oh, wow. These people in the comment section are breaking my heart today, y'all. Everybody has a victim story of how they were victimized by Big Farm. A wife interrupted said yesterday, I got sucked into the system after my 45-year-old husband died. Within a few years, I was up to 4 different medications and all the side effects that come with it. It took another 3 years for me to get off of all of that against doctor's orders. What I really needed was permission to grieve for my husband. Girl, ain't that sad? You ain't got time to grieve. It's the modern world. You got bills to pay. You got 2 jobs to work. And we live in a soulless, heartless, empatheticless. I need to find out if that's even a word. I use that quite a bit, and I don't even know empatheticless. I do make up my own words. Brookanese is what I speak. Brookanese. Damn. Another thing to consider is that there is a lot of research out there showing that for some people, these psycho drugs do affect their brain chemistry permanently. Didn't know that. Many kids who start out on Ritalin and antidepressants get addicted to them and can't come off of them ever. So they spiral down the drain with ever stronger and more dangerous medication until their lives are ruined. We should be as concerned about this mutilation of the mind as much as we are appalled by the mutilation of their bodies. Girl, y'all killing it today. This is awesome. Vera Bolton. I was once prescribed medication that erased all of my emotions. I felt nothing, no sadness, no joy, no compassion, nothing. I guess this is how psychopaths feel. I'm sorry to all my regular followers for all of the interruptions today. Oh, this is why I want adults to pay attention to what children do when they have access to a phone. These are all kids. These are not adults that behave this way. Exactly, manifest. And the doctors also tell you to not stop taking the meds suddenly, but they sure will take you off like a drop of a hat. They don't care about you. You're absolutely right. You know, I was prescribed Seroquel, I think it was a year before last. And first of all, that medication is never to be prescribed for sleep. That is an antipsychotic, mood stabilizer, whatever you want to call it. We don't prescribe that for sleep. It's an addictive drug. They didn't tell me that. They sent me out of the hospital with this prescription for a month that I stretched for 2 months. And then I went through the worst freaking withdrawals. And all of that's recorded. You guys were with me through that. Yeah, and then I did some research and found out that drug should have never been prescribed to me because I'm not bipolar. I don't have schizophrenia. There's no reason that it should have been prescribed for sleep, and it was prescribed for sleep. And did they tell me that I was going to have physical withdrawals when I ran out? No. They were hoping that I spiraled and crashed and come walking back through the ER door for another script. Felt so violated. But I already had a history with that hospital, so I shouldn't have knew what it was before I even went in there. UNC Chapel Hill is bought and paid for. They have been for years. They are one of the most liberal freaking hospitals in this entire state. It's sad that people do not understand what medical malpractice is. This is why talking about these things are so important, so that we understand our rights. It is illegal to put a patient, it is medical malpractice to put a patient on a medication and not warn them about the side effects, the long-term side effects, and the physical withdrawals of that medication. To not disclose that information, in my opinion, is medical malpractice. And that goes on every day in this country. So, Stephen, that sounds dangerous. That sounds extremely dangerous. I would listen to your body. I mean, listen to your doctor. I'm no doctor. You probably need to listen to your doctor, but you also have to be your own advocate, because these people are about making money. They're not about making you feel better. I know somebody that's had 2 back surgeries, and when I asked them, your back feel better? They say, no, it feels worse than ever, and the doctor suggested another back surgery. And I said, you know they're milking you for money at this point, right? And he's like, yeah. It's like the Luigi Mangoni situation. I do not believe that, and I'm not a medical provider. I did not go to medical school. But something tells me that that 20-year-old child did not need a major back surgery like he received. Luigi Mangoni. In my opinion, he was a victim of medical malpractice. They sold him a back surgery because they wanted to milk mom and daddy's insurance. It's as simple as that. People have died for less. People died for less. But it's crazy because it's not about the patient. It's not about patient care. It's about money. And you need to be your own advocate. If you feel weird and you feel like you're about to die from something they put you on, you need to trust your body because they're not taking the damn medications, and most of them have never took those medications. So you can tell them what the side effects are, but they don't understand. They don't comprehend. They can't put themselves in your shoes. You've got to trust your body. I hate Big Pharma. I hate Big Pharma. Medication is over prescribed. Mental health diagnoses are over prescribed or diagnosed. Yeah, you gotta be an advocate because these doctors will put you in a position where you literally fucking die, homie. I mean, they gave me Xanax. After there is a medical order in my file not to give me Xanax. It says, becomes violent, will stab people. The one and only time she ever took Xanax, she stabbed 2 girls. So maybe we shouldn't give her Xanax. And what did they do? The first thing they did was give me Xanax. Do you understand the level of malpractice? Like, if I had money, I could sue the shit. That's $1 million lawsuit. $1 million lawsuit in a nutshell. Not only did they put my future on the line when they gave me Xanax, but they could have ruined everything for me. All my hard work, my recovery. We don't give heroin addicts Xanax. That's a no-no. It's a big no-no in the recovery world. It's just crazy. That was UNC Chapel Hill, homie. Best hospital in the state. Almost fucking ruined my recovery. Trying to send me home with Xanax. I don't remember 7 days. There's a video on that somewhere, and it probably says the medical malpractice that I was subjected to. I think it was Christmas of 23 when we went through that. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Yeah, be your own advocate. Be your own advocate. Throwing pain pills at you. Yeah, the pill mills were really big back in the early 2000s. Everybody was traveling to Florida to get pills and stuff, multiple scripts. It was bad. It was really bad. You know, I'm glad that they've got that better under control. But it's just new drugs popping up. It's just new street drugs being created left and right. Like, they can't keep up. They can't keep up. Sorry, I'm actually working today. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. Politics, thank you, Brian. Politicians pass laws that favor insurance and healthcare providers over the insured. Absolutely, and they hang us out to dry. Killing us with food, killing us with mental health drugs. I find it interesting that that girl had a 22-year history. She was only 28 years old, that Audrey Hale. She was only 28 when she shot the school up, the Covenant School. But she had a 22-year history with the mental hospital that she was getting all these meds from. She wasn't but 28. So she was entered into a state facility or a mental hospital at 6. I was too. I think I was about 4 or 5. I've talked about this. There's a video on it. Yeah, it's not good, homie. She's, you know, she created a lot of victims. She stole lives, but also she's absolutely a victim. What she was subjected to in these state facilities, mental hospitals, whatever you want to call them, it's absolutely inhumane, and it's detrimental to early childhood development. These mental health drugs that they had this child on for 22 years, the majority of her life. You can't, in my opinion, you can't find true identity when you're on some of these medications. They're such strong antipsychotics that they distort reality, okay? Inmates in prison actually trade these drugs so that they can get high. That's how strong they are. The different mental health drugs, if you take enough of certain ones, it'll mess you up like you've taken other drugs. Mushrooms, hallucinogens, a lot of antipsychotics act like acid in the brain. This is a fact. That's how strong they are. So this child, you know, clearly she was struggling with her identity, which makes complete sense because she would have never found her identity because she's been on so many mental health drugs. That's impossible. Those mental health drugs act just like hard drugs to some people. You ever seen a heroin addict? And, you know, these mental health drugs do that to a lot of people. Look at their hair falling out. Look at their teeth falling out. Every time I see a woman that's my age with thinning hair, I know immediately she's either on mental health drugs or eating way too much processed food. Eczema, you know, processed food. Anyways, it's really disturbing. I don't feel bad for her at all. I mean, I feel bad for her upbringing because I can kind of assume what she was subjected to being a 22-year patient of these facilities in and out. But I just want to be clear that, in my opinion, I agree with Matt on this one, that those drugs absolutely were one of the leading causes that led her to committing this shooting. I'm not blaming her actions on the drugs. I'm just saying that she was not in her right frame of mind at all. I don't think probably she had ever been in a good place. It sounds like she was in constant therapy, constantly switching drugs, constantly upping medications. It sounds like she probably maybe should have been hospitalized for a longer period of time, or maybe gotten a higher level of care. The drugs didn't help. The drugs didn't help at all. And it would be like, you know how like heroin addicts, when they start using drugs, they stop developing. I don't know if I've ever explained this, but this is a good time to do it. So let's say that you're 18 years old and you decide that you're going to go start smoking crack. Well, you actually stop developing. It stunts your development psychologically, emotionally, mentally. You stop. So let's say you get clean off of crack at 30. Well, you have the emotional intelligence of an 18-year-old because you stopped your development the moment that you started smoking crack. These mental health drugs, in my opinion, act the same way in the brain and in the system, where they stop development, the self, because the drugs are preventing you from doing that, just like they would a heroin addict or somebody that's smoking crack. Do you see what I'm saying? So clearly, you know, I mean, and we can tell that she had no sense of identity. She was going through a lot. Those drugs play a huge part, and in my opinion, it's the main, you know, of course, she clearly had a grievance to air out and an axe to grind, and I just think that those drugs had a lot to do with that. We need to be careful when we put these children on these medications. I don't think children need medications. I think that there needs to be laws passed that we can't put these children on medications until, I don't know, they're murdering people. Why is the answer to hyperactivity Ritalin or Adderall kind of psychiatric med? Why isn't the answer throwing them on a playground and letting them wear themselves out? So we want to put them on a medication that's going to distort reality, and just doing the most basic fix, which is let them go skate, let them go ride bicycle, let them be hyperactive. Maybe they need more one-on-one time. We think the fix is meds. It's just not even logical. It's not logical. Jesus loves you. We also do need better diets. I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to try to clean up my diet better, you know. Peter, you're absolutely right. You know, the first one was methadone. Well, and there's been other drugs that the government approved, and it was, you know, being used for civilization use, recreational. But I would say that methadone was the start of that, like, MAT program, where they started to, like, collect data on inmates. And, you know, they're prescribing that stuff to prison inmates now. You'll go into prison and you'll have to go cold turkey off of heroin or pills. And then you'll be in prison for 2 years, okay? Sober, no drugs, no Suboxone, no methadone. And right before you're about to leave prison, the prison says, hey, we think that we should put you back on Suboxone. And then these inmates, they give Suboxone, and they give them a script, and they set them up with a doctor in their area. Why would the government get inmates clean and then reintroduce them to heroin? Suboxone is heroin. It's a partial agonistic, but it is heroin. You know, I was on Suboxone for 4 years, and I think, and there's videos of this, we've talked about this, like, this is one of the things that I've changed my opinion on. I first came to this platform, I was on Suboxone, and I was proud of the drug for helping me get clean. However, the doctor left me on it for probably 2 years longer than I needed to be on it. Suboxone is a temporary thing. We don't want to see patients on that for 10 or 15 years. Maximum 2 years. That's part of the recovery process, or the way that it should be, in my opinion. But in order to make money, they put these inmates back on Suboxone, and they collect data on them. It's a way for them to keep up. It's a way for them to keep up with, you know, all the people in society that is up to nefarious stuff. Not to mention they make money off of it. Now she's a wreck. I'm sorry. Suboxone is government heroin. You're absolutely right. You know, I advise people over here to go cold turkey. I understand people have lives. The great thing about Suboxone is that it gets you over the hump so that you can focus sobriety. And that's why I do think that it is a beneficial drug. But I would advise people who do not have children, who do not have careers, which is a good portion of the opiate community that gets clean, they do not have those types of responsibilities. So there's no reason why they couldn't go cold turkey. It's not like they have to be at work on Monday. You know what I mean? Yeah. So well, if the mental health problems are coming from the food and the diet, do we need psychiatric drugs? Wouldn't the easy fix be to fix the food? Why do we need psychiatric drugs if the mental health problems are stemming from the food? The obesity is stemming from the food. The depression, the anxiety. I don't know, maybe bipolar disorder. Those people might absolutely need some level of care that's higher. But when we're talking about depression, anxiety, that stuff is stemming from the food. It's stemming from the diet. Stemming from a proper diet. I know that for a fact. I think that and I'm even cautious about saying that because they say that certain people were schizophrenic, like Ed Gein and Ted Kaczynski, and they were not, in my opinion. So I don't know. I take everything, you know, most clinicals are leftists, right? Do you know that? They did a poll. I think it was like 70 or 80% of clinical psychologists are leftist. A lot of women in there too. A lot of lefties women over here, wokeism, you know, and that's part of the money making machine. That's the way that the leftists think, you know. More drugs, more doctor's visits, more therapy, sex changes, hormones, any way that they can make money, they will. It would for most Americans. I would say around 75 to 95% of Americans would feel better after 30 days. And it would clear up most of their problems. I'm getting hungry. Yeah, I just thought that you would like to know that she was on extreme heavy antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, SSRIs. And she had been a guinea pig for the state for 22 years. 22 years. So it sounds like she started getting psychiatric help around 6 years old. I always hate it when they die because I always want to damn interrogate them. I got so many questions for her. Like, what happened? Why did she start having behavioral problems at 6 years old and then she was hospitalized? It must have been bad. When we see children get hospitalized like that, it's usually from behavioral problems. They're aggressive at school. They won't sit in their chair. I mean, it goes past that. Like, the parents are getting a call every day. The kid is a disturbance to the point that, I mean, if they were an adult, they could be charged for whatever they've done legally in a court of law. You know, like these problems with children that go into these psychiatric hospitals, this is from personal experience, they have extreme behavioral problems. So I'm wondering what led to Audrey being hospitalized at such a young age. Something must have been going on in her home. There's nothing online. I've already looked. Something had to have been going on, whether it was divorce, sexual abuse, I don't know. Children are innocent. They only know what they're taught. The behaviors that they display are usually learned behaviors. And I just cannot believe that people are born evil. I do believe that Audrey probably had a rough life. For her to be hospitalized at such a young age tells me that she probably had a lot of behavioral problems, which stemmed from some. Children are just not going to come out the womb ready to kill people and starting fights in kindergarten and pre-K and having, you know, displays of sexual curiosity. There's so many behavioral problems that children have that we see end up in these psychiatric settings at a young age. There could have been anything going on. I just know that something was going on because children that are growing up in healthy environments do not end up in psychiatric hospitals at 6 years old, turning, you know, spending 22 years getting turned out by the pharmaceutical company as a guinea pig. It's a miracle that I'm even able to talk about half of the stuff that I can talk about after what I went through. I went exactly through what she went through. All of these hospitals are the same. It doesn't matter what state it is. Yeah, the laws might be a little different. They might, you know, do things a little different. But for the majority of the part, these psychiatric institutions, they run pretty similar. You're going to experience the same type of people with the same mental health problems, with the same behavioral problems, and they're hectic. It's scary, especially for children. And I know exactly what she went through. So she definitely had a rough life. And I absolutely feel like those mental health drugs, they were one of the many things that led to her killing children teachers. There's a good chance if she wasn't on that shit, it would have never happened, in my opinion, but we can't be for sure. We can't be for sure. We have a lot of people that are not dealing with much. Yeah, that's another thing I noticed. People don't want to talk about their problems. I think that's why I bother people a lot too, because I talk about real topics and shit, and it makes people uncomfortable. That's another thing. Like, people really are scared to talk about things that matter. They are. They get scared. It's like, don't you realize these problems get worse because nobody's talking about it? We just sweeping it under the rug. We gonna act like that elephant ain't in the room. It's crazy to me. We do. Yeah, those mental health drugs, that's another thing. They cause suicidal tendencies. That's another huge one. Oh, God, y'all, these shorts. Suicidal tendencies and SSRIs are ridiculous. You know, we got soldiers that come home from war. They got PTSD. They go over to the VA. The VA starts putting them on all these damn medications. And before you know it, you hear another soldier's done taken his damn life. We need to look more into those suicides and what medications these people were on. I bet you definitive link, a high percent of our soldiers that were on mental health drugs that take their own life. We lose like 20 soldiers a day, ain't it? To suicide. And I wonder how many of them is on drugs from the government. Sorry. I'm a little indisposed at the moment. I keep running towards the sun. I got my gut out. It'll blind you. Where's my glasses? Oh. Okay. Candy corn is trying to fix her tan line. Damn it. How many soldiers a day commit suicide? Oh my God, this phone doesn't work. It's 17.6 veterans a day take their own lives. What the hell is that? Ain't that crazy? I wonder what percentage. What percentage of soldiers after being diagnosed with PTSD receive mental health medications? 68%. I'm so fucking done. I don't even want to dig anymore because it's going to make me angry and then I won't be able to sleep. So the solution from the government is to give people with mental health and PTSD problems that are soldiers, the solution is to give 70% of these people, approximately almost, mental health where one of the side effects is suicide. I'm not a very smart woman. I did not go to medical school. I don't have no license and shit. A license to run my mouth, a license to kill. If you want to run up and get done up. This is what I'm talking about. I get stuck on stuff like this because I do not understand why this was the fucking solution. It's not even fucking logical to give suicidal people medications that could potentially make them more suicidal. And then we wonder why we lose 17 soldiers a day to suicide. Call me crazy. That's okay. It's disturbing. It bothers me. It's like, how am I this dumb? And all of these doctors, all of these government officials, they think this is their plan. This is their plan. Where'd my phone go? This is their plan. Approximately 500,000 veterans receive service from the VA every single year. And 70% of those patients are on freaking mental health drugs if they're a mental health patient or if they've had mental, if they need assistance. It said 70%. Approximately 2/3, 68.1% of veterans diagnosed with PTSD receive a new prescription for psychotropic of their diagnosis. Will somebody please put me through school so I can go do some great shit? God, makes me so angry. Let's give suicidal patients drugs that'll make them more suicidal because that's smart. That's the solution. We can make so much money. A new study found that veterans diagnosed with PTSD receive some type of pharmacological treatment, and about 79% receive prescriptions for antidepressants, which has a high level of suicide rate. No wonder they're killing themselves. They're being fucking poisoned with goddamn SSRIs. God bless it, Jesus. Listen, once again, I'm not a clinical, I'm not a doctor. But what we do, speaking from personal experience, if they would have put me on mental health drugs when I was spiraling through my CPTSD episode back in 23, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. Do you hear me? I'd still be in the psychiatric with their fucking advice. Without a doubt. They put me on Xanax and Seroquel and Lexapro and lithium. I wasn't there but for 6 days. How the hell am I on all of that? I was going through betrayal trauma, which triggered my PTSD. Okay? It's pretty simple shit. Pretty simple shit. The fact that these medical professionals at UNC Hospital could not identify a CPTSD episode is concerning in itself. The level of malpractice that I went, like medical malpractice that I went through. If I was some rich kid from mom and daddy, I'm telling you, what they did to me there was so unprofessional, illegal, unethical, and medical malpractice. I was having a CPTSD episode, and they were treating me like I was a bipolar patient, and I have no history of bipolar disorder, nor am I medically diagnosed with anything of the such. I've had multiple assessments, 2 of which were in the same year. UNC Chapel Hill, when I was in this DSD episode, right? They could not identify what was even going on with me. These are some of the best hospitals in the nation. It's like laughable, man. It's laughable. I wish people knew. I mean, I wish that I could damn put on some of them Ray-Ban spy glasses and go in there and record it, but there's laws against that. HIPAA. So, it's really bad, y'all. It's really bad. Prescribing SSRIs for PTSD is one of the most detrimental things that I've ever heard of. That patient with PTSD cannot get out of their triggering episode. God, I got a pervert here, y'all. I can't do nothing without stopping up. Every single fucking time. Like, I don't know. He just literally come up out the fucking woods with 2 months. Let's go. God, I can't even fucking just mind my business. Some pervert. Just, goddamn. What did I say? I was talking about this earlier. I said, watch me get half naked and all the perverts will show up when nobody ever even comes to this fucking park. He literally just like crawled up out of the fucking woods like a creep. It's like the hills have fucking eyes. He's probably got his fucking inbred siblings coming behind him. As long as he stays over there, we won't have no fucking problems. Don't speak to me. Don't look at me. Don't ask me my goddamn name. Don't ask me if I'm pissed about the Epstein files. Well, actually, if you ask me that, I'd be like, oh, wow, somebody has 2 brain cells to rub together. Hi, what's your name? Yeah, you want to get next to me? Talk about something that fucking matters. Tell me how I can save humanity. Because if it ain't about that, I don't want you in my fucking face. You know what I mean? I got shit to do. Yeah, it's just, I don't agree with SSRIs being given to patients that have PTSD. They're not able to process the trauma that they've been through, which is imperative to the recovery of PTSD. How do I know this? And I'm going to be honest. I ain't even never cracked the book of a psychology book before. The only book I've ever read on psychology is the DSM, which is the Diagnostic Statistic Manual for Clinical Psychology. So maybe that's why, because I've been reading the DSM since I was like 4. So it's really disturbing that they have now decided to allow PTSD patients to have SSRIs when the propensity for suicide is so high with SSRIs. In my opinion, that's probably a valid explanation as to why all of these soldiers are taking their own lives. one of the side effects of those medications is suicide. So we're going to give suicidal patients medication that makes them suicidal even more. And we lose 17 soldiers every day to suicide. They take their own lives. I didn't know this information. We just learned this together. I mean, I'm literally getting chill bumps because it disturbs me that bad. See, most people would read something like that and they would say, oh, well, we could assume that maybe it has something to do with it. I know the truth. I know it has everything to do with why they're taking their own lives. And I know that the VA is pushing these medications to make money. I know the truth about how evil Big Pharma is. So I see this for what it is. It literally, I mean, my heart is racing right now. It feels like hands are around my throat from the anxiety that I have thinking about the amount of medical malpractice that has been going on in this country since eugenics. And they just switch it up. They've been using us as guinea pigs. They've been using us to make money. They've been using us in any way imaginable for decades, generations since we came to be about. The only difference is like every 10 years they switch up. You know, first it was lobotomies, then it was eugenics. You know, all of these horrible unwed mothers, they stole their children and sold them. You know, it's always medical malpractice that's been going on in this country. And there's probably several other cases or situations that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But, you know, then think about like Xanax and then methadone. It's a miracle drug. Look how that ruined lives. Look how now all of these mental health drugs are out here. Look at how we tried to use children to mutilate them and convince them that they were the opposite sex so that they could make money off of sex changes. Medical malpractice has always been going on. I do believe that back in the day we probably had a lot more ethically stable doctors. Like we had more ethically inclined people back then. The world is just becoming an evil, evil place. Look at nurses' bedside manners, doctors' bedside manners, you know. Look at the information the doctor doesn't tell you. Hey, by the way, this SSRI may cause you to be dizzy, sleepy. They don't tell you this. They prescribe the medication and they send you on your way. And that is medical malpractice. It is their duty, their ethical duty, to warn you about the side effects, the long-term withdrawal effects, if there are any. The medical industry is shot, y'all. It really is. And you know, a lot of hospitals, they're laying off people. Nurses are quitting. Doctors are quitting. You know, I would have to say that probably the majority of the people that are quitting are actually the good people. They're over the buffoonery that they have to deal with every day in the hospitals. You go sit in the ER and you'll be aggravated. Just in the waiting room. You're like, God, this is just... Imagine working there with them idiots all day long. You know? Could you imagine? Could you imagine working with them people all day long and having to deal with all of it? Horrible bedside manner. They are drug dealers. They're absolutely drug dealers. And in my opinion, they're poisoning and killing people. I know what they did to me at the hospital was crazy. It literally says in my file, do not give Xanax. Patient becomes violent. Patient has a history of violence on Xanax. And you know the first thing they gave me? Xanax. Why would they do that? Do you understand that that could have made me relapse on heroin? I could have got out of that hospital, called my old drug dealer to come and get me, and been... I'm so grateful. There came a point where I actually had a seizure from all of the Xanax, and they had to take me down to give me, I think, an MRI or a CAT scan. And I remember the nurse she was trying to coerce me into saying that I didn't have a seizure. She was trying to tell me, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't an actual seizure. Like, you seized out, but it wasn't bad. We had it under control. And I'm telling her, well, I've never had a seizure. Why would I be seizing? I was seizing from the medication. 100%. All of this is recorded, by the way, and there's medical record for this. One day I'm going to pull it and we'll talk about it. I want to see what they wrote. I want to see everything. I'm not lying when I say that by the time I left that hospital, I felt like they were intentionally trying to kill me. That's what it felt like to me. It traumatized me even more. So I'm going through a PTSD episode. I go to the mental hospital to get help, and they further victimize me by not being able to properly identify what I was going through, even though I had a clear medical history. Now, and another thing, they never contacted my current clinical psychologist and my current therapist. And I kept telling them, you need to contact Stephanie. You need to call Stephanie. Do you know to this day that Stephanie has never heard from UNC Chapel Hill? Aren't they supposed to like I signed a release of information. What if I was receiving medication from Stephanie that was very potent, and then they started putting me on other medication, and then these medications mix and I die? The probability of that happening, it's happened before. This is the best hospital in the state. Let me remind you. UNC Chapel Hill, notorious, one of the best in the country, right? Top in the country. Top in the country in medical malpractice, allegedly. And listen, what they did to me was absolutely medical malpractice, so I can say that because I lived it. I have a record of it. You know how I finally found out that I had a seizure? Because after I had a seizure and they did the MRI, I wrote myself notes and hid them. How? Where was I? Why am I scared hiding notes in a wall from staff on a mental ward? Your guess is as good as mine, but for me to have pulled part of the wall apart to hide paperwork and then put the wall back together, I had to have been pretty scared. I jotted down the entire incident from the seizure and I hid that paperwork. I don't remember doing that. It's crazy. What I went through there is crazy. They had me on so much fucking Ativan. It's crazy. I don't remember nothing. I don't remember half of the stay. What ended the stay was that I had a seizure. And then at some point, we skipped medication. We were down there for hours. And I remember, like I said, the nurse sitting in the room before they put you in the machine. I remember her trying to gaslight me and say that it wasn't that bad. It's like, now looking back, I realized that they were scared because I had a seizure of the medication that they put me on. I could absolutely sue the shit out of them. They almost killed me. Like, that's what they were scared of. That's why they were trying to, like, gaslight me and say, oh, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, they better be glad I ain't got no rich daddy. So anyways, I missed medication time, missed dinner time. Next thing I know, we had been down there trying to get this scan for hours. And I don't remember even going down there with the nurse. I remember being in the room with the nurse, and this is around the time 6 days later when I start to come to. I had missed my dose of Xanax. It was medication time. We missed that because we were in the basement doing some kind of MRI. And that's when I remember coming to. That's the first thing I remember since my first day in the hospital. Let's just say that I got there on a Monday night, checked myself in. They immediately start acting crazy. They give me medication. I don't remember anything else until Sunday night of that week. That's how much fucking Xanax they gave me. I don't remember 90% of my hospital stay. They had me so doped up on so many freaking medications, I don't remember. What I have is notes from this incident that I was writing along the way. Thank God I did that because I have some basic concept of what I did while I was there or what took place. So anyways, hypothetically on Sunday night after I missed medication and food, that's when I start coming to. And I remember when that bitch told me it was a week later. I could not believe it. When we got back to the unit, I was going around door to door and asking other patients what day it was. Do you know how scary that is? What if I was raped? I mean, look, chill bumps. Guess we'll never know. I don't think anything like that took place, but I do think that these medications are extremely fucking dangerous. And these doctors and nurses and all these clinicals that prescribe them, they don't take them because if they took them, then they couldn't be a doctor. You know what I mean? Maybe we shouldn't take advice from people that ain't been down that road before. Like, you ain't never took this shit. You don't know what it does or how it... Yeah, you got your statistical study, but they don't feel the side effects. They don't feel what we feel when we were on the medications, is my point. And they don't take these side effects into account either. Yeah, so that night, they tried to give me medication when I made it back to the unit. And at this point, I'm pissed. Like, I'm cussing people out. Y'all are running some kind of shoddy-ass, crazy-ass hospital over here. What the fuck in the medical malpractice are you trying to do to me? You put my recovery on the line. I could be back out on the street shooting heroin tomorrow because of your poor medical advice. I was losing my shit. And I started demanding for them to let me go. I'm like, I want out. Like, I'm done. Y'all just tried to kill me. You put my recovery on the line. We do not give recovering addicts, opiate addicts, Xanax indefinitely. There's never a reason to give an opiate addict a Xanax. More often than not, it's going to lead to their damn death. And it literally stated in the file, do not give Xanax. It was actually under allergies. It's under allergies, and they gave it to me anyways. Makes me so angry. And what I witnessed there, so they held me hostage for like 2 more days. They absolutely refused to let me go. And at this point, other patients were coming in. It was like midterms, finals for the college. And so all of these college students who are having mental health breakdowns because of finals, okay, they're under a lot of pressure. Kids nowadays, in my opinion, they have it 10 times worse than what we had it. You know, the bullying, the social pressure, it's just hard, okay? And these are prestigious college students, medical students. There was a girl and a guy that came in. They were literally spiraling meltdowns, nothing major. They weren't violent. They were just depressed, riddled with anxiety, can't function, can't get out of bed, too much on their shoulders. Very common. One thing they did have in common was both was morbidly obese. That's crazy. I just made that link. That's the first time I thought about that. Both of them was over 300 pounds, the girl and the guy. I find that interesting. Remember how much diet plays a part in mental health. Anyways, I don't want to say that their obesity is why they were depressed. I think that they had a lot on them, and I think that their diet probably plays a small role in how well they can handle things and manage things, just like it does me. The girl, they held her hostage there. Her family actually was in touch with an attorney trying to get her out. They were giving her so much medication that this is how I saw her. Her food tray would come, and she would be on the food tray like this. Her family was trying to get her out of there, and they just kept giving her more drugs, and she was completely incapacitated. Can't make this shit up. And all she had was depression and anxiety. You think horse tranking her is the answer? I think she needs to talk. Because when she was coherent, she was talking to me. She opened up to me. It was crazy. It was absolutely, I don't know whatever happened to that girl. I'm sure her family, they had an attorney that was fighting to get her out of there. She actually had showed up to the ER because she had like anxiety, and they involuntarily committed her and then started just dosing her with drugs. This is what they do. And that's going to get worse. Get used to talking about this, because next year there's going to be a lot of people that are involuntarily committed, and we're going to cover that, because it's all about money. The more people that they're going to commit next year, the more funding they're going to get. That new homeless executive order is really going to help people out. Yes. So a law has been reversed. I do believe, I might be wrong, but it was one of, if somebody knows, please let me know. I'm sorry, let me go through here. I'm doing well. Oh, God. Hello. That means me. Please don't commit me. Yes, Eric. Homeless people. So the way that it works is they're saying that these homeless encampments, the officers have two choices. They can take them to jail or they can take them to a mental facility. There's going to be a lot of people involuntarily committed next year that really need a rehab. Why is the options jail and a mental hospital? If they have a drug problem, why not take them to a rehab? I'll tell you why. To make money. That's why. They don't want them to get clean. The government doesn't want them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. They make restitution. They make so much money off of them. They want them to be depressed. They need, society needs, I guess, the leftovers to feel good about themselves. I don't know why the government does not want to actually help homeless people, why they don't create programs to help people that need recovery from drugs. I don't know why. The only answer is money. Probably a lot of it. They've had power and control to fix these problems for 100 freaking years, and these problems just get worse. So that means that the system is clearly broken. And on all home fronts, the DOC, rehabs, mental health services, psychiatric hospitals, community resources. I think the government's trying to kill us, y'all. I do, man. I do. I think they want us all sick, depressed, on mental health drugs, in the house, doing nothing but slaving away for them and paying taxes. They want us all miserable, sick, and starving in the damn streets. You can't help people that don't want help. Scuba Steve, you're absolutely right. And a good portion of the people that use drugs, they don't want recovery. They're not there yet. My passion for sobriety far outweighs my love of heroin. And I'm so grateful for that. I don't know where that comes from. I thank God. I remember when I was getting clean, I was like, I need you. I need you to get me through this. This is what I want. And even when I came off Suboxone, it was the same thing. Like, this is what we're doing. Okay, I'll do it as long as you got me. Please don't let it be bad. Like, I can handle throwing up and my stomach being messed up and the cold chills, but if I put in effort to chug water, will you make these withdrawals go away, and shitting me. It was the easiest I think I've ever come off of something. And y'all saw me 6 days after I come off the medication. All of that's recorded. And I still had withdrawals. I had withdrawals for about 2-3 weeks. It was rough. I got 2 guys showing up. I had withdrawals for about 2 or 3 weeks. It was pretty rough. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. But it was nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. And I'm glad that I came off that Suboxone now. I could have stayed on it. And I'm so grateful. It was the best decision. And now I view that medication completely separate than I did when I took it. And I also understand how my doctor prolonged my prescription when she could have let me off of it. I was on it for 4 years. A little over 4 years. So it was past the point. Suboxone is a drug that we would see a patient on for maybe 2 or 3 years before we wean them off. That's all that they need. These doctors are pushing this stuff down patients' throats for 10, 12, 15 years. I have friends that have been on it since the late 2000s. No. That is medical malpractice. That is you trying to make money off of someone who has a problem. And it's wrong. Patients do not need Suboxone for 10, 15 years. And Lord knows about the long-term effects. We don't know. This, sometimes it takes 30 years like Xanax for us to figure out that something is bad. Very bad. And, by most accounts, Suboxone, in my opinion, it can be a good drug if used properly for the right patients. I think it can be an absolute miracle drug for some patients. It helped me. It got me clean and it got me over the hump. But I don't agree with it being prescribed for years. Yeah. Methadone, y'all know how I feel about that shit. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wonder how many lives the government took with damn making that shit legal and damn prescribing that to everybody. That's the government's heroin too. Most patients that take methadone are completely in denial about the level of recovery that they're in or where they're at in their recovery. Most patients that take methadone are completely incapable of taking accountability for the fact that they're still on heroin. Okay, they just deny it. Oh, I'm on methadone. It makes me feel great. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Heroin makes everybody feel great, Susan. Methadone, in my opinion, should be banned, completely taken off the market. We have no use for it unless it's in a medical setting to help patients with pain, potentially. Prescribing it to recovering addicts, it creates a bigger problem. In my opinion, from my own research, from about 10 or 15 years of the study of methadone and being a methadone patient for years at a time, in my experience, methadone has about a 6% success rate. Google will tell you otherwise because Google is bought and paid for by Big Pharma. It's really disturbing how many people I know that lost their life to methadone, OD'd on prescription medication. They had a legal script from a doctor from a clinic. I've had friends that mixed methadone and Xanax that passed away. That's a big one in the heroin world and the opiate world. A lot of patients like to mix Xanax and downers together, and it usually leads to death, asphyxiation. They suffocate, stop breathing. It suppresses your breathing. Alcohol, Xanax, heroin, opiates, pain pills, ketamine, things like that are suppressants. They actually prevent your body from being able to function at the rate or the pace that it's supposed to. It slows down your breathing, your thinking, your motor skills. Those things will kill you quicker than just about anything else. Those suppressants will get you. And mixing those suppressants together, you're almost in a sense doubling your chances of death, in my opinion. To mix alcohol and Xanax together, you're asking for it. You really want to die. You've had a bad day. You know, same thing goes with heroin and Xanax. Yeah, for them to give me a Xanax at that hospital, I'll never forgive that. And actually, we'll be circling back to this in about 10 years when I have the money to actually do something about it. Because when I think about it in the long term and what I witnessed, if that's just what I went through, and I was only there for like 7-8 days, and it might have been 10, I can't remember. Because there was 2 or 3 days there at the end that I had to fight for my freaking freedom. I'm talking crazy talk, like crazy talk. Like, I'm going to sue the shit out of you guys. Let me the hell out of here. Like, I come here for help and y'all put me on Xanax. I'm in recovery. You know, I was getting Suboxone while I was in the hospital. They knew that I was in recovery. Yeah, at the very least, you know, I will make it public and continue to cover what I went through and what I witnessed. Because if that's just what I witnessed within a week, there ain't no telling the evil that goes on in that place. It is so unethical to put someone's recovery on the line. They were dangling that Xanax in front of me like I was going to take it, and I'm sure most people in recovery would. That's the scary part. It's like they were trying to get me strung out on it. It's like they were forcing it down my throat, like it was going to fix everything. It's really scary because most addicts would take it, and most addicts would end up relapsing on heroin. These things are gateways, you know. Some people, they have a sip of alcohol and then they need a bump of cocaine. I got lucky with that. I have a sip of alcohol and I'm ready to go to bed. Where's a burger? I had a beer, now I want a burger, and then I want a bed. You know, I'm grateful for that. That nowadays, you know, if I drink a beer and stitch myself up, bandage my wound up, then I want a burger in a bed. But some people, their addiction is so deep, and it has such control over them. It's like another entity that's operating their body at times. It's almost like they have no control. I guess it's like a pervert that can't control his lust. But a lot of those people, they will offering them a drug like that, most people would take it because, and some people will have a sip of alcohol and then, like I said, need to move on to other drugs. And giving me Xanax could have enticed me. It would have made me feel like heroin. It would have had the same effect. I would have been nodding out, maybe stole some shit. You turn into a klepto. What is that? Anyways, that Xanax could have been, it could have felt so good that it may have made me want to go get high on heroin again, is my point. So them giving me those Xanax actually put my recovery on the line. And like I said, under allergies, it says I'm allergic to some kind of penicillin or moxicillin. It's something like that I'm allergic to. It's just a mild allergy. And it's literally under the allergies. It says Xanax. I literally saw it on the paperwork. So something that's under the allergies you give me? It's crazy, y'all. I swear to God. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. You'll sit there in a room with like 5 doctors that are like doing their residency, and then like 2 doctors that have been doing it for a while, and then maybe a few nurses. You'll sit there in a room with 12 people. And I could always tell they did not know what the fuck was going on. They did not know what the fuck they were doing. How am I this dumb? And I know that they have no idea what's going on. And they are doctors. Doctors. They went to medical school for 7 to 10 years. It's crazy. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Nobody knew what was going on that medical unit the entire time I was there. And then the gaslighting over the seizure that I had from the medications that they put me on that clearly states I'm not supposed to have. I mean, just, oh, God, I wish I had a daddy that was rich. I'm not the only one that went through this. There's multiple women. Actually, if you go to UNC Chapel Hills, they're like, I think it would be like behavioral health section. There's tons of reviews. We've been over them before. I've read them on this channel. There's video on it. There's tons of reviews of other patients talking about how they were victimized by this hospital. You know, that's the same hospital that I went to when I was like 4 or 5. They have been seeing me since I was a child. They're the ones that have more medical files and information on my history, my upbringing, all of the trauma I've been through, all of the abuse. But they were not able to recognize a case of CPTSD. Their first plan of action was to put me on 5 different medications the first day I was there, against prior medical orders. It says allergies. Not to mention, I had already said I'm on recovery because I brought my Suboxone with me. Gotta have my Suboxone. So, you know, they literally didn't listen to anything. They did not call. Stephanie didn't even know where I was. She thought someone had kidnapped me. My therapist. She did. She's like, I've been so worried. She's like, I didn't know. She's like, I know you don't get in trouble, but I didn't know if you've been arrested or... Like, no, girl, I've been stuck in a fucking hospital. I was hoping that you'd get me out. She's like, they never even called me. I was like, what? I said, I signed a medical release form for them to call you. They didn't even call her. That's my primary psychologist, my primary therapist that I was seeing every week. It's crazy. Still see her. I see her about twice a month. So I think once last month. I need to get my shit together. Didn't even call her. Didn't even request any medical information, current, past. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, you got to be careful out here, and you got to be your own advocate, because these doctors, they don't give a shit. These nurses, their hands are tied. I think a lot of them do care, but a lot of them, the new generation of nurses, that shit is scary. I'm scared. I don't want to get old. These bitches is mean. I don't want to deal with these people when I'm in a rest home. These bitches are mean. Do you hear me? This new generation of nurses, they're hell. They're hell in scrubs. Hell in scrubs. Do you hear me? The amount of bullying, the amount of petty, childish, I'm scared. I'm scared to get old because these bitches are crazy. Do you hear me? I feel bad for any old school nurse that has to work with a new baby nurse. I am so sorry. Is this what it is? Do we all age and the world just gets worse and worse and we're all disappointed at 70 with the way things are going? Is that what it is? We all going through the same thing. Seriously though, the upcoming generation of nurses are not going into nursing because of their high levels of empathy and compassion. Quite the opposite. They're going into nursing for money, okay? Yeah. And they've been raised by the internet. So, compassion and empathy is not high on the list of intrinsic values in these individuals that I speak of. It's causing a lot of old school nurses that have been in the industry for 20, 30, 40 years. It's causing them to leave. They're quitting their jobs. I think I also read somewhere that they were promiscuous. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, it said it was the most promiscuous industry, nurses. What are the chances that nurses who know all of the health risks that come with STDs and promiscuity, what are the chances that they're the most, yeah, they open them legs more than anybody else. I swear to God I read that in an article. Let's see if I can find it. They said that that they hook up the most. I guess with all them hours, you ain't really got time for a social life. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I've never stolen my life. I think you twist words because you're not happy with yourself, or maybe you just can't damn hear. It's okay. We can get you a hearing aid. Yes, Ada! Shut your front door. Shut your mouth. Listen. Not only that, yes, uppers. They work long hours. I'm not saying they should be doing drugs on a shift. But yes, in recent years, there's been lots of nurses arrested for stealing medications, uppers, opiates. And you know what's crazy? There was a case that I was talking about last weekend of a girl named Monica that killed herself in a house down here. They found her body in Pine Hall, and she was a nurse. And she had recently it didn't make sense why she was out here and killed her. Who drives 200 miles to commit suicide? Let me tell you, not many people. It's really rare, actually. Most people that commit suicide do it in a dwelling, their home, their office, their car, somewhere they're comfortable outside where they have history. It's so rare for someone to drive 200 miles to an abandoned house when they own a house. She had a home, a career. It's weird. This girl named Monica, she drove out here from like Asheville, Asheboro, 200 miles, found an abandoned house here in this little backwoods country town that I'm in, and she killed herself, allegedly. It's really weird. Anyways, my point is that she was a nurse, and she was recently arrested and had pending charges, allegedly, for stealing prescription drugs from her job. And while we were looking into this, we noticed that Monica had some pretty significant physical changes in recent years. She initially looked like a real girl next door type of girl, and then like the picture beside it, it looked like she had been rode hard and hung up wet, you know? Like, so I don't know. I mean, I should have asked those cops the other day about that. when my clothes were hostage in the laundromat. I should have been like, hey, do you know this Monica girl? Do you know what happened? Do you think that was because she was facing these pending charges and her career was about to implode? Because, you know, they would have taken her medical license or her license to be an RN or whatever. I don't know all them numbers and letters, honey. I just know what I know. They would have suspended her license for stealing prescription narcotics from her workplace. Okay, it would have probably messed up her career pretty significantly. And then if she in fact actually had a drug problem as well, which I would, you know, in my opinion, she probably did. I think that's probably why she was out here. I don't know. You know, I should have asked those cops. I've got like 15 questions. Why was she here? Who drives to an abandoned house to off themselves? I later found out that she did, in fact, have a friend out here that she was meeting. I could not confirm if that was male or female. Was it some drug dealer she was coming to buy drugs off of? Was it some John that she was coming to screw? Was it some girl that she was coming to do drugs with? Like, I don't know. This is what I hate about the media and about the way that things are reported today. It's like we don't get clear answers anymore. We don't know the full picture. And there's more to Monica's death than a suicide. Whether it's a secret drug addiction that led to criminal charges, that led to her spiraling out of control in fear of losing everything. She did have children as well. So she had a lot on the line at the time that she was allegedly facing these charges. I don't know. Did she take too many drugs? And, you know, listen, I do think that people can get to a point where they black out off of these things that they accidentally kill themselves. And let me explain. You take enough Xanax and you in a bad mood, you're not in control anymore. The Xanax is in control and you black out. You have no memory of what you've done, but you're operating just like you would if you weren't on Xanax. There has been people that have committed suicide under those exact conditions. And they would not know that they were killing themselves. Have you ever blacked out on alcohol? Well, imagine you black out on alcohol and hang yourself. I'm wondering if maybe Monica had a cocktail of drugs and maybe was going through something like that. I don't know. It's just really weird for a woman in her position to end up in a town like this, found in an abandoned damn house, dead. It's still confusing to me. I should have asked those cops. I'm sure they probably know. They know this is a small town. Things like that don't happen around here. They don't. I mean, they have, but it's quite infrequent, you know? It's really sad. But yeah, and going back to that, that's a good, we need to hone in on that more. We need to hone in on how these drugs, how detrimental they are. And we need to teach the younger generation about mixing these drugs and about how the law states that consumption, it doesn't matter. You know, if you get out here and you take Xanax with your buddies one night and you drink some alcohol and then you stab two people, the court system is not going to give a shit about the fact that you decided to consume drugs. They're not going to be lenient on you because you made a mistake and mixed alcohol and Xanax. Ask me how I know. You know what I mean? I didn't know that when I was that age. I didn't know about Xanax when I was given it. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know it was going to make me black out. I took all of it. And then I was a felon the next day. I wish somebody would have been out here telling me like, whoa, girl, that is the most potentest shit you can put in your body. That is like literally go find steroids, go find opiates. Like, no, not really. But Xanax, it's just as bad as heroin. And I wish somebody would have told me because I had no clue. I think that we need to talk about more, you know, things like that whole blacking out and offing yourself or harming other people. Do you know how many people commit crimes and they don't even know that they committed a crime until the cops are arresting them or the SBI or they're waking up in the hospital? Seriously. A lot of these crimes. And I was going to look up something a while ago. I forgot. What percentage of people commit crimes on drugs and alcohol? I think it was like 65%, but I could be wrong. 80%. Oh, no, that's people in prison. It's estimated that 80% of individuals in prison abuse drugs and alcohol. And over half struggle with clinical addiction. Jesus Christ. All of these things run together. Over half of the people arrested for crimes are under the influence of drug and alcohol, with approximately 60% testing positive for illegal drugs at the time of their arrest for most crimes, for most crime types. Yeah, just like with poverty comes crime, and just like apparently with drug addiction comes prison, and with crime, with drugs comes violence and crime, 60%. So yeah, I feel like teaching people about the dangers of drugs and talking about things that have maybe never been spoken before. It never dawned on me that blackout phase from Xanax, opiates. Let's say you mix some stuff. Let's say you having a bad day, so you're like, oh, I'm going to take a load off and take 2 shots of Jameson. Next thing you know, you're like, damn, I'm going to pop a half of Xanax to get to really feeling good and relax. And then before you know it, you get through the half a bottle of Jameson. You done pop 2 more Xanaxes. You don't even realize it because that first Xanax is mixed with that suppressant of alcohol. They're both suppressants. And before you know it, you done stringed up a damn line in the rafters and took your own life. I wonder how many people die under that kind of suicide, because I know that it has to be, I know that it's happened. I know that it's happened. I know the crazy shit that I've done when I've blacked out. You can't tell me that people haven't accidentally, or they're not in control. The drugs are in control. They're out of it. In my opinion, that's an accidental suicide. Maybe the drugs are suppressants. They're depressants. That's what they do. They're supposed to make you sad, down, depressed, in the dumps, relax. That's what people call it, but you're really depressed. I wonder how many people have died by suicide, by accidental blackouts. You got to be careful out here, man. Mixing that shit. I knew another girl that hung herself, and I do believe that this was probably the case for her. She was on Xanax, cocaine, had a lot of problems. She hung herself in my ex's house, that $1 million house that I've posted on here that I lived in for years. My ex dated her before he met me, years before. Her name was Tish, and she had 2 kids. She was from Virginia. And he owned a strip club, and he also worked for the federal government. He worked for the Pentagon. He was a computer programmer. And so he would spend half the week in Washington, D.C., and then he'd spend half the week here in Kernersville, North Carolina, where we lived, right? And Tish would stay back with her kids and run the club while he went to D.C. to work. And then he'd come back. Always in the mood to party when he got back, too, Anyways, apparently on one of these trips, she didn't have her kids. I don't know where they were at. The story that's been told to me is that he was in Washington, D.C., and he came home and found her hanging in the front foyer of her house. And the EMS came. They pronounced her dead. I do believe, if I'm correct, that Xanax and cocaine was in her toxicology report. I often wonder if that Xanax caused her to black out and take her own life. I mean, this was a woman. First of all, it's not rare for women to take their own lives, but they don't do it as much as men. Men statistically commit suicide way more than women. She had children. The only thing that I've ever possibly, the only thing that's ever made sense to me is that she felt trapped. She had been with him for about 10 years. She had her children from Virginia that had moved into this beautiful house. They had this beautiful life on the outside, and the truth is that they were both cokeheads, and they were both struggling in addiction. And here this woman is, who is significantly younger than him, 10, 15 years. She is now trapped in a situation where not only is she living in his house, but her kids are too. She has no financial stability on her own without him, because she's working for his business, running this club. Every time they get into an argument, he takes her work hours, preventing her from being able to make any kind of money that she needs to support these kids. He financially trapped her from the start with those children in that home. I know that for a fact, because that's what I went through. That's what I went through when I dated him. So The only thing that's logical to me is that she probably felt trapped. She didn't see a way out. She didn't want to go crawling back to Virginia to her. She didn't come from much. She grew up in a crappy little town that, where drugs and crime were rampant and people were creeps, and, she didn't come from much. So I'm sure when she walked into that club and she met my ex, she thought she probably hit the jackpot. And it's always good for 6 months, a year maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 to 6 months before the shit hits the fan, right? And I don't know. I just think that she was in too deep, maybe. I often wonder with that Xanax in her system if maybe she blacked out and didn't really mean to take her own life. I mean, it's really sad. It's really, really sad. Yeah, she had no way to get out. I mean, even the car that she drove was in his name. She was stuck. She was stuck. No car, no home, no income. I mean, he had her exactly where he wanted her. The exact place that he would put me in. This is what these type of narcissists with money do. Rich people, the Epsteins and Trumps of the world. This is the way that they treat women, like property. And that's exactly, in my opinion, what led to her death. I mean, it's sad. No, definitely not the first time she took Xanax, more than likely. I think that if I recall correctly, my ex said that she did some party drugs or recreational drugs. Their main drug of choice was cocaine. That was something that they had shared interest in. And I do know that a lot of people that do uppers use downers to come down with. So a lot of people that do like meth or coke, they'll use Xanax to wean off of their uppers. Like I do with caffeine and meds, bedtime meds. Y'all know how I'll come out here and I'll just chug caffeine all day. And then I'll be ready to go to bed. And I'm like, I'm not even sleepy. I need to take double the melatonin so I can come down from this caffeine and go to bed. A lot of junkies do that too. And that's probably why I do it, because I was a junkie. It's just... part of drug life, I don't think it was the first time she ever took Xanax. I think that she had a history of taking stuff like that occasionally, but I don't know. I know that it was a pretty significant event around here. Years later, the officers that found her, the first responders that found her hanging, I met them and they talked about, they had to come to a domestic disturbance over at our house. And he was waving a gun around, and I'm fighting him, and it was bad. And I remember the cops talking about the last time they were in the house is when they found Tish. It's rough. The state came in immediately and snatched those kids out of his custody. Like, he didn't have any legal guardianship over them. They weren't married. Her family filed in the court to snatch those youngins, and CPS come and took them. And then he tried to fight to keep her kids. I mean, like, I know that you would raise them for like 5 or 6 years, but like, and he would only want those kids to look good to the public so he could parade them around and be like, oh, look how great of a guy I am. Yeah, my girlfriend killed herself and these are her kids and they're not even mine and I take care of them. That's the type of man. That's what narcissists do. They're always looking for a pat on the back, like their ego is what runs them, their pride. So I'm glad that, if CPS, if I've ever seen them do something right, them coming in and pulling them kids out of his custody was the best thing for them youngins. Them youngins needed to be, their father, piece of crap, he was never around. Her family, not the best. However, I do believe that those children are now with her mother. So that's probably the best thing that could have happened for them, even though, here's the thing. Having a beautiful house and all the luxuries that money can buy, that does not fix a traumatic, broken childhood. Money does not make up for the lack of discipline, love, affection, connection, the bond that you have with your child. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, Tish came from poor upbringing, and her children probably went to go live in poorer conditions. But the fact is they went into a loving home with people that are taking care of them. The way that my ex thought was that if you were poor, that meant that you weren't like healthy and normal. And so, like, he was the type of person that would want those kids to not only parade around, but in his mind, like a typical narcissist, he would actually think that those children were better off with him than with family because he had money. Let me tell you something. Every well-to-do guy that I've ever dated, it was like 2, both of them had the same view on poverty that is so disturbing to me. And one of these people actually had 2 children that they were raising, and I could tell how their opinion of poor people was imprinting on their children. It was crazy. These things are absolutely passed down. Racism, hate, sexual perversion, trauma, bad behavioral patterns, abuse, all of that stuff is passed down. It's learned behavior. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. The most well-to-do 2 guys that I ever dated, which were both long-term, significant relationships in my life, both life-changing events, both of them had horrible views on poverty, drug addiction, homelessness, mental health services, and they had no basic understanding of any of that. It's sad. It really is. It's like, how are you this smart? Did you go to UNC Chapel Hill? Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yeah. You're kind of cold and heartless. Yeah, you are. You are cruel, downright cruel. Like, I don't understand. I think that, going back to the common misconception, I think that most people are under misconceptions about why people end up homeless or struggling in addiction or going through mental health problems. I think that there needs to be more awareness brought to these situations, y'all. Really do. Because in my experience, like I said, a lot of people I meet, they don't even have a baseline of understanding of these things. That's disturbing because most of these things we've had around for a while. You know, anxiety, depression, it's been talked about, studied. We should have all the solutions by now. It's been damn a century. Seriously. Damn. Y'all, it's been such a beautiful day. Such a beautiful day. I'm not a bot. Me neither. At least not a robot. It's been such a beautiful day. I can't believe how bad I was feeling earlier. I think I took too much magnesium, and I think I've been eating a lot of crap. I really need to hone in on a cleaner diet this week. Definitely. Good day to you. Good day to you. I think, Mama thick thighs. Save up enough money to go to therapy and fix it. Hey, John. Mr. Roth. Oh, I know what went on in her life behind closed doors because I had to relive the same thing. These type of narcissistic abusers, they have the same MO and behavioral patterns with everybody that they date. They alienate from family. They isolate from friends and family. And then it's about power and control. It's about making sure that you're at their beck and call. And you can't do anything unless you have them. And they set these dominoes up to make sure that you have to depend on them. I know exactly what she went through. I didn't need to be there because I lived it after she died. It didn't take me but a few years to be in the same position. I mean, I wanted to die. I wanted to die living in $1 million house. I wanted to die. Shopping trips, vacations, all the drugs I want. No worry really about money. I wanted to die. So I don't, you know, I know exactly what she went through. I know exactly what she went through. That was the one that was when I got clean. I was either going to die there in that relationship with unlimited access to money and drugs. It would have only been a matter of time. Or I was going to get clean and live. And I got clean and lived. And now I'm homeless. Love that for me. Hey, that's a success story that doesn't make anybody want to get clean. Oh, God. Hey, I'm Brooke. I was a heroin addict over a half a decade ago. Since I got clean, my life has imploded. I've lost all my land, all my property, all my cars. I only had one. But seriously, it definitely don't encourage people to get sober. And I'm sorry, but you know what? If I can do this knowing good and well that it's going to lead to me being homeless and losing everything, then you can do it with, added resources that I don't have. Look at it that way. Maybe not you, but you know what I mean. I know you ain't on drugs, but maybe some of y'all. Oh, God. Listen, we watch and we don't judge around here. So if you are, listen, that's your business, not mine. I would just encourage you, as my sister or brother in Christ, to get clean, because God wants better for you. But oh, that's funny. I said that like I was serious. Like I knew that y'all wasn't damn smoking magic mushrooms for lunch. And truth is, I don't know. No, I think most of my followers, the good ones, the ones that actually care, they're sober. And they know I am too, and I'm grateful for them. But then you got a whole subcategory that's strung out of their mind over here projecting, Homeless shelter. There ain't no shelter around here. 69. Congratulations, Sandtown. That's something to be proud of, girl. You making it. And I think, is that a girl? I don't know. Sorry. I guess it don't really matter, but that's something to be proud of. 69. I know I don't have my makeup anymore, Crystal. It's in storage. It sucks. I don't have none of my stuff. My weights, none of that. Sucks. I'm strung out on love. That's good. I mean, love is good. It's better than hate. Love is, yeah, we need more love. We do. We need more love. Yesterday, everything was great. Everybody was so nice yesterday. We've been kind of lazy today. I didn't even want to come out here, if I'm being honest. I had to force myself. But it's all right. You got good days, you got bad days. Some days are harder than others. I think it's the food. Yeah, I think it's the food. All I can do is switch my diet up and try to eat better stuff, see if I feel better. And maybe not take so much magnesium. Oh, I do. Listen, once a drug addict, always a drug addict. I switched from heroin to supplements and protein, honey, and I overdo it every day. Every day. No wonder my liver be screaming. She's like, girl, if you don't lay off the magnesium, potassium, iron, I do it. I overdo it. I don't think I overdo it, but I am a nut about it. What's the word? When you're like, you're due diligent. You do your due diligence to make sure every day to take your vitamins. The magnesium, I definitely overdid yesterday. I feel it today. Yeah, what you take like tonight, you'll see the effects from tomorrow. Does that make sense? Like, and the magnesium, when I do take it at night, it does mellow me out a little bit. But I really take it for the effect the next day. It evens out my mental health. It helps me focus. It helps me think clear-minded. I feel like when I take the magnesium, I can focus on filming better. I'm better organized. I can remember to charge my phones when I'm supposed to. I don't forget my water bottles everywhere. Why? Did they make a supplement for memory? Because that's the other struggle I have. I need one that makes me remember everything. Now I found something that helps my mental health, helps my overall physical, emotional well-being. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to take magnesium till I die. That was a huge missing piece of the puzzle for me. Huge. I'll probably rave about it till I die. And maybe one day I'll have some supplements to sell. I know I said I wasn't never going to sell out and sell you guys shit. But unfortunately, I am homeless. Eventually, I'm going to need to make an income. So one day, maybe some years from now, I might be selling some damn my favorite supplements on here. See, this is what I was talking about earlier when I was like, okay, I'm starting to come into a business sense. I came here with the motive of bringing awareness and talking about serious stuff and also humor. I wanted to laugh here. It never dawned on me that I could use this as like a career. Bless my heart. Jesus Christ, man. Somebody help me. I need help. I really do. Does that make any sense at all? Now I'm starting to understand the business and how to use this to help better position myself for maybe a career, you know, or an actual career. Like, do you see what I'm saying? I'm starting to come into my business sense a little more and starting to understand the game a little more. And it sucks because I hate games. I hate this damn, the workplace drama. Like, it's just so beneath me. I'm not even joking. I'm repulsed by mind games. But you know who plays mind games? Our fucking government. Israel, Iran right now. I mean, it's still shocking to me because I thought when I grew up that adults would do things the morally, ethically right way. It's still shocking to me at almost 38 years old that adults are not adults. It's hard for me to comprehend. I get stuck obsessing over it. That the world is not ran the way that it should be. It's not hard to have a good earth if everybody just did their part and was a good human. Wasn't playing mind games with our future and nukes. Like, do you see what I'm saying? And government runs that way. They play petty games, and it's all about one-upping each other and having a pissing contest and throwing shots, and you know, the workplace is like that, and YouTube is like that. My job is like that, and it sucks. I think that's why I have a really hard time making it in society, because I do not play fucking games. I will stab you. I'm just saying that when people start playing games, it makes me angry. Ain't nobody got time for that. I would just rather eliminate you and go on with the rest of my day. I don't understand why people can't just be logical, rational, operate on fact instead of emotion, put their feelings aside for the better good of everybody. Imagine how great the world would be. That's all I'm saying. It's hard for me. And that's why they think I got a little bit of autism. Because it's like them building blocks that I know I got to stack one time perfectly straight. And now I can't get them perfectly straight. And until I get them perfectly straight, I can't leave the living room floor with my blocks. You know what I mean? Anybody that's got a child with autism knows exactly what I'm talking about right now. Complete fucking meltdown. You try to pull him away from those blocks and it's going to be hell all day. All day. Yeah, but I get stuck and frustrated on why the world doesn't operate and like it should. Imagine how easy it would be if everybody just had the basic understanding that we all had to work together for the better good of everybody. I don't know if we'll ever get there. I don't know. Y'all are arguing? Oh, y'all ain't arguing. Fitness classes. Don't nobody want to work out with me. I am insane. Y'all see how I work out? I don't know, I might be able to like... I feel like I would be a brutal instructor. Knees up, you lazy bitches. Knees to chest. Like, are you sure about that? Because I just feel like I am too angry to be working with the general public right now. Like, seriously. Like, once again, you got to be your own advocate. Maybe 10 years from now, when we got these emotions under control and the world is a different place, we can think about maybe gearing people towards fitness. But right now, I'm just here to tell you, I don't know. I think it's, I think people have gotten soft. I do. I think people have gotten soft. They don't know what damn work is. Not everybody, but a lot of people, they've gotten extremely lazy. They're not motivated. I mean, God, look at the economy. Can you blame them? They probably ain't ate today. Probably running on no sleep from working 2 jobs trying to pay rent. I mean, I don't know. I see both sides. Yeah, could you see me as a fitness instructor? What if, business idea, what if it's like Dick's at Myrtle Beach where they shout out all these mean insults? Mean insults at you and like throw workout equipment at you. Nothing heavy, just like maybe those plastic, like big plastic balls, you know? It's like dodgeball fitness insult classes. Like, that'll motivate you. Shamu and a tutu. 2 more sets. No, I'm joking. That would be so mean. Nobody would ever come back to the gym. They can't handle that. You can't even joke with people nowadays. You think you could damn... I wonder how many people cries at Dick's every year. So it's a restaurant at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina that you walk into, and I think it's in Myrtle Beach. And they are rude. They'll like throw straws in your face. They'll take paper napkins and just sling them on the table. They'll cuss you out. They give you these hats that have all these horrible sayings on them. It'll be like, I can't say it, never mind. Yeah, it'll be like grandma sitting in the corner with a hat that says chicken sucker. Use your imagination. Seriously, it'll be some of the most vulgar sayings on hats and stuff. And then like the waitresses are rude and cussing you out. Y'all, I'm so mad I gotta go file that police report tomorrow. I don't want to, God. But the fucker ain't gonna leave me alone until he's in jail, so I ain't got no choice. He's been warned time and time again. I'm exhausted dealing with these fucking idiots. He's already a fucking felon, so it doesn't matter if he becomes another fucking felon. I don't even know what made me think of that, but yeah. Yeah, I wish it was a pervert that I stabbed back in 2009 and not those girls. Maybe these men would leave me alone. Be like, God, she stabbed some guy. And I think a lot of these people that are out here behaving this way, I don't think that they know about my channel. There's a few, like the one that's been stalking me in the Jeep, absolutely. He watches my channel. That's how he's able to find me. But I think a lot of the random ones, like the biscuit guy looking for a biscuit, I don't think he knows about my channel, as well as like the old man that sat down on me. All of this is, listen at this. It's just one after another. Jesus Christ. Like the old man that tried to sit down and grope me at the laundromat last week. Highly doubt he's ever seen my channel, but I might be wrong. I guess it wouldn't do me no good if I would have stabbed a pervert back then, because half of these people that are popping their heads out behind damn brick walls to creep on me, they don't know my channel. A few of them do, though. I've had, probably 3 dozen in the past 2 years that saw my channel, knew me, knew my truck, and just would come out and creep. Yeah, it's weird. Y'all, I'm about to run for the evening. I'm hungry. I'm gonna have to bicycle and get some food. Dick's Last Resort, is that what it's called? What is going on? Some of y'all, these people I'm blocking, let me start. These people that I'm blocking have severe mental health problems. I need to stop generalizing. Listen, I'm homeless. Okay? The fact that I even say I need to work on this, I'm doing better than society, because when's the last time you heard anybody say, oh God, I need to work on that? Shut up. Don't you come over here with that shit. Don't come over here. Oh God. That's why they bring the past up, though. Let me be clear. That's why they bring the past up. Because they know that you're focused on change, doing good, making moves, and they bring the past up to prevent you from doing that. People are jealous of people that change. They are. They absolutely are. People that are capable of changing other people that lack the motivation or the initiative or, I don't know, the will, the strength. I don't know. They literally have a problem with people who change. Like, it bothers them. Like, and here's the thing. The crazy thing is that we all have free will. You can change too. You got to start by not being a piece of shit to everybody you meet. But, like, you know, everybody has the ability to change. That's in your control. We have free will. I'm telling you. People will always remember that one bad day a year you had, but the other 364 good days that you had, they won't remember a damn thing you did those days. But the one day that you got blackout drunk at Daytona, they gonna remember that. That's the one thing they always want to bring up. Well, remember that one time? It's like, bro, what about the 364 days that I was out here gearing people in the right direction? It's like they'll overlook that and just keep bringing up the past. It's like you can change, but other people don't change. And when you change, don't expect them to change, and don't expect them to appreciate the change that you've made. More often than not, they'll actually be jealous that you made an improvement in your life because they're incapable of doing that. Damn, I'm on it today. That magnesium. I feel like so heavy, though. I don't feel like my arms work. Like, I feel like Casper. Like, I feel like I'm just floating, you know? Like, I'm just... That magnesium is strong. I took 3 pills. You're only supposed to... Well, it says recommended dose, 2, but it's only 71% of your daily value. So I was like, ooh, I'm pretty good at math. If I take 3 pills, then that would be approximately 100 and something percent, like 101. Listen, I'm not good at math. Not the social pressure when I'm on camera to do math. Whew, my anxiety. I might faint, okay? But you see what I'm saying. I was like, I'll take 3 and that'll be 100%. I wonder what that'll make me feel like. I feel like the Michelin man that ate a special brownie. I do. I feel so lightweight and just, whew. I mean, I don't think I've sat up all day. I've probably been like this all day. I ain't got no posture. I ain't got no ligaments. I ain't got no tendons. That shit disappeared. Yeah, that's funny. I am a little sunburnt. I also did like 20 miles yesterday on the bike. It ain't been that hot. Usually when it's hot, I'll feel really lethargic because, you know, you're dehydrated, you're in the sun, it's a lot. I feel for it. You know, being out here on the streets has definitely made me have more compassion for blue-collar workers. And y'all know that I've always supported blue-collar workers on this channel. But it's made me, I guess, it's gave me insight into how much they go through out here in these elements. Like roofers being out here on these blacktop roofs in the summer. My eyes are burnt. Their eyes are burnt, you know, dehydrated, stuff like that. Concrete, out here in the heat, doing road work in this sun all day. My eyes are burnt, so I know their eyes are burnt. You know, I just have I guess being out in the elements, I have a new respect or more appreciation for an industry that I already appreciate. They're the people that keep America running. Literally, electricity, water, okay, plumbing, okay, a roof over your head that was built by a blue-collar worker. Everything that you eat on a truck it came on a truck from a blue-collar worker that came off of a boat with a blue-collar worker. Like, you know, they're literally the spine and backbone of America. But yeah, being out here in this shit, this ain't no joke. The elements, My lips are even burnt. Yeah, it's hell sometimes. Hey, Andrew. Yeah, I know. I got on a patch. No, I don't. The patch is gone. Where did it go? I had a patch. They don't stick. That's why I'm vaping. It's not even my fault. If they made products worth a darn, I'm telling you, I'm going to get me a damn duct tape. That's where I'm at. You think it'll hold it on my chest? It's going to be a pain in the ass to take off. It's okay. I've been doing that all week. We'll be fine. Seriously, I'm going to get some duct tape. What happens is you start to perspire. You start to sweat, and it gets under the patch, and it lifts the patch off your skin. They are not good for anyone that has a physical life like me. They're horrible for somebody that's outside in these elements. They just fall off, and they're so expensive. It was $90 for 2 boxes, and they're being wasted. The past 2 days, they've been wasted. I've been having to vape because they're not sticking, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I guess I could try to put it somewhere else, but my chest, it's really the best place to put it, like under my bra, so that it'll stick and kind of hold it down. Even on my arm, I feel like it would come off. I don't know. All of my family's dead, you piece of shit. Bye. God. Hey, Steel City. People are rude. They hate themselves. Who says so? Oh, Lord. Oh, no. No, I didn't mean to do that. I got it. I fixed it. I fixed it. Stick it to your buns. No joke. Really? Like your butt cheek? Like, oh, I wonder about, like, right here on your back. Like you're like, where you're close to the spine. Y'all know it's a full moon. Oh, it was a full moon last night. Damn. Huh. I believe you. Best places to put nicotine patches. It says the arms, the chest, upper arm, chest, shoulder, or back. Damn. Maybe I'll try that. Avoid areas with irritation, oil, or hair. Nicotine patches are designed for application on the upper body between the neck and the waist. Clean, dry, hairless skin. Upper arm, upper chest, shoulder, back. Choose the location where the patch won't rub with fabric. Like the fabric won't rub it. Oh, you can do the inner arm, upper chest, upper arm, shoulder, back, or inner arm. I feel like it would rub too much there. Well, shit, if I put a piece of duct tape around it like a damn crazy lady. I don't know. It sucks because they're expensive and they fall off. They really do. I did that cold turkey. Good for you. I wish I could. I'd kill people. They'd have me in the damn jail before damn 7 p.m. At least I know that, though. Yeah, I would not recommend starting a weight loss journey and a quit smoking journey at the same time. You need to pick a struggle first. Don't do both at the same time. I've done that before and I like to went insane. Oh, God. Sometimes you need vices to get you through as long as it's not, completely detrimental. I feel like nicotine is a smart drug, first of all. Second of all, it is detrimental to your health. It does cause cancer. But if you have to use that to get you through so that you're not darn smoking crack, then so be it. I think that nicotine is a much better option than smoking meth. Like, to each their own, It's crazy because people talk about, like, processed food and stuff. About smoking, but they eat processed food. There's been studies done that food is 10 times worse than them cigarettes. But the majority of civilization does not know this. Why? Because they don't put out real information. They don't want you to know the truth because they want you depressed, sick, and getting more fast food, honey. Yes, processed food. It's just as bad as cigarettes. Heart disease, cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure. I mean, you know, and that's other stuff that's, you know, added. That's just an added bonus, you know. At least with cigarettes, it's just going to be lung cancer. No, I'm sure it causes all kinds of cancer. It's a carcinogen, right? Is that what they call it? Listen, I don't know the periodic table of elements, okay? I don't even know if that's on there. Oh, you know what I mean. That's cancer causing properties. Nicotine gum. That stuff always made my throat feel funny. I did like it. It did work. But the drainage on that stuff is kind of a medicine-y. It'll start to burn your throat. You eat too much of that nicotine. These people are wild today. Hey, Vogel. I've seen those. I had one of the Zens one time. I did try it. I don't remember. It's not that I didn't like it. I think that those pouches are a little inconvenient for me because, you know, you got to spit and stuff. People be like, she don't interact with the chat. Okay, well, the chat ain't talking about anything fucking important. They're hung up on the fucking past and lies. I think people are getting dumb. Thank God for my damn true followers that pop in and have something to say. I mean, at least y'all got brains. I mean, half the time, I mean, it's just literally degenerate bullshit. And then they're like, why ain't she not responding to the chat? Because I'm a fucking adult. Dealing with a classroom full of fucking children, it feels like. I mean, but I'm the dumb one. I'm the ex-con, ex-drug addict, ex-stripper. I'm the bad one. I don't, you know, I'm the dumbass. I'm the problem in society. But at the same time, I'm the only one out here talking about, well, other conservative people, but I'm talking about in this chat right now, and as far as like my haters, I'm the only one that's out here talking about things of importance, bringing awareness to social situations, trying to spread awareness through my own story. Ain't it crazy? Ain't it crazy how they say I'm this big bad person? But, you know, I care about humanity and civilization and a better tomorrow than most. Ain't it crazy? I mean, it really is. The contradiction there, this... Yeah, it's crazy. She doesn't interact with the chat. Yeah, because I'm not here for you. If you don't understand what's going on in the words that are coming out of my mouth, then you're too far gone. I don't want you here. Like, you're going to prevent me from being able to actually reach somebody that gets it, you know? It's crazy. Asking questions we've already answered a million times. You're absolutely right, Nancy. And that's what I'm saying. It's trolls. They're coming back to try to make me explain this story over again to prevent me from reaching people and from being able to talk about things that matter. Ice cream? Baby Ruth? Ah. Y'all hear that bird behind me? Hey, Israel. They're not green, but thank you. I hate these buttons. Absolutely hate these buttons, you know? It's okay. You know, you might be colorblind. It happens. I'm hungry, y'all, and I don't know what I want. I know I got some tuna. Oh, I got a snack. Dr. Pepper beef jerky. It's so good. It's probably horrible for you. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. See? This is the problem. Most people would grab this and think, damn it. And think, surely beef jerky's not too bad for you. It tastes like Dr. Pepper. But it's got 4 grams of saturated fat, which is not good. It's like 20% of your daily values. Are you gonna buy me a salad? You gonna drive me to get a salad? Oh, they are, Roscoe. Healing up pretty well. It's still raw. I did a good job. I need to get that Band-Aid stuff off. I don't have any peroxide or alcohol or anything like that, so I've been having to scrub it off the back of my hands. Ow. My phone's about to die. 10%. Damn. Nancy, it was nice today. 80. It cooled off in the Northeast. Let's see. Damn it. Yeah, this thing is so good. It's so bad. You would think that beef jerky, oh, it's healthy. It's just dried meat, cured meat. You got to be careful. Not only is it full, first of all, anything that's in a stick form like this, like beef, Slim Jim, those teriyaki, Tillamook sticks, all of that stuff is heavily processed. They add stuff to it. It's mechanically separated, and it's going to have high levels of trans fat and saturated fat. You got to be extremely careful, not to mention sugar. The bag beef jerky that's like shaved beef jerky, that's usually fairly safe. It's not as highly processed as these beef sticks. You can tell the difference in the meat, you know. Look at the, yeah. So that shaved stuff, though, sometimes those bags will have high sugar. A lot of people on a weight loss journey forget about little things like that, like the sauces, and And most people, I know when I first started my weight loss journey, I used to eat a ton of these, not even thinking, I didn't know anything about macros. So, much less how to count them or what they were or anything like that. I just knew that I needed to stay away from carbs and sugar, and I needed to put in more cardio. And that's really where any person that's on a weight loss journey, that's where they need to start. Need to start by slowly exiting out breads and carbs and bad stuff and sugar, and slowly introduce healthier foods and working out and cardio. Lots of cardio. 3 days a week, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, 3 days a week. You'll notice the difference. You'll start to lose weight like crazy. Lots of water. But my point is this has got a lot of trans fat. Saturated fat. 20% of your daily values in this one stick. That's a lot. But God, if it ain't good. Dr. Pepper, Jack Link's Wild. Dollar Tree. Oh, I forgot. What did I tell you? See how my ADHD? It says 84. It ain't bad. It feels good. I'm definitely summer. 50% humidity. It's hard for me to drink water. Have you ever tried any packets? Like adding some flavor to them? Or, ooh, even one of those carbonated, carbonated, sorry, I can't speak. Hubba-da. One of those carbonated, I think it's called Circle, ain't it? You can make carbonated drinks at home. Does soda water have sugar? Does soda water have sugar? Zero. Oh, club soda. Okay, ain't that... Don't you use club soda to make Pepsi? Club soda is carbonated water with added mineral compounds like potassium and sodium. So it's just carbonated sugar water. Anyways, yeah, there's got to be a way to make like soda-like drinks at home with some kind of system. Yeah, one of those. Yeah, I like the little drink mixes. The drink mixes help me drink more water. Sometimes I want a soda. I really do. Sometimes a Mountain Dew or a Diet Coke. Especially when it was hot 2 weeks ago. It seemed like every time I turned around, I wanted a soda. It's the heat. And then you drink one, and your body's on that sugar then, and now you're craving that sugar just like you would if you had a hit of heroin. Same thing. Yeah. I bet soda is hard to kick. Oh, y'all, I'm about to run for the night. I gotta go find dinner. I'm probably gonna have to go back the other way. Vitamin water. I think they have quite a bit of sugar. They might have a sugar-free one. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go relax. Get some food. My phone's about to die. I forgot. I'm on 7%. I'm glad I didn't lay out there too long because I don't want to damn burn. But I definitely got some sun this week, like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's been cooler, so it's been a lot more bearable to bicycle too. I haven't felt like I was going to completely die. Well, until today. I really think that that's a combination of just probably poor diet and too much magnesium. Yeah. I'm extreme with it. But anyways, we'll talk tomorrow. We're going to hang out. I definitely got to get a bank account, so I got to figure out how I'm going to plan everything this week with filming and then getting everything done with like next to no resources. I really do have a knack for making whatever situation I'm in work. Like, seriously. Like, I'm able to, like, disassociate and come out here and, like, try to work and be positive. I don't get enough credit for that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I love you guys, and please pray for me. And I'm praying for y'all. And I hope y'all have a good Sunday night. I hope those that are going back to work in the morning, I hope that it's not a hectic, crazy Monday. I hope it's a smooth sailing Monday for you guys. And don't work too hard, because we all know they probably don't pay you enough. So I love you guys, and rest well. And we're going to have a good week. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited. And y'all be safe. And thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Bye, Nancy. Oh, thank you, Christ Life. Bye, y'all. Be safe.